And here we go. Tuesday, November 16, 2021. Armani and Edwards, The Bottom Line. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards. And it is Tuesday, and that can only mean one thing, Braylon. Stan Edwards is here as well, everybody.
Sessions with the big guy, man.
The church finger.
How you gentlemen doing? Stan, good afternoon to you.
Thanks for having me every Tuesday. I'm doing fine. Looking forward to it.
Braylon, what's good, buddy?
I'm doing good. Everything's not all good in Los Angeles. You see the Los Angeles Lakers are struggling. LeBron's still not playing, but they will figure it out. Do they keep Russell Westbrook, or do they make one of those famous moves that LeBron likes to do and get rid of people? Also in Los Angeles, didn't seem like Matt Stafford was on target yesterday, even with having Odell Beckham. So we'll get to that. We'll talk about that. So I'm worrying about the West Coast today.
Yeah, you wake up and you look at it, and you're just kind of confused. This Matthew Stafford, national media told us that this guy was everything that's good with being quarterback in the NFL, the MVP candidate. You look up in the last 2 weeks against the Titans and the 49ers, 2 interceptions in the first half last week, 2 in the interceptions in the first half this week. Not playing good football right now.
Yeah, but I will tell you one thing. We watch the Mannings. The Mannings is our deal. We'll watch the Mannings during
the Mannings.
Monday Night Football. They always have guests. Well, yesterday, one of the guests right before halftime was Phil Mickelson. And what I can tell you is whoever prepared Phil Mickelson for being on the Mannings and asking those questions, whoever prepared him, we need to hire them immediately in our data status room, because man, he was asking questions that were so on point. They were so dialed in. They were so of the level of a Peyton Manning, an Eli Manning question. I said, man, whoever prepared him knows what the heck they're doing. He might be somebody to hire, or he or she might be somebody to hire in the future.
I know who prepared them. It had to have been Tom Mazaway, who keeps
Maz?
everybody prepared. Hey, good afternoon to you, Tom Mazaway.
Hey,
didn't want to go any further without saying hi to you.
Hey, it's great. I'm another week not driving Stan next to me, but it's all right. He's up at the big boy table tonight.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you this. The Manning media empire is the Ryan Seacrest media empire of sports. They're doing a fantastic job, and they'll have a lot more content coming out in the future.
Omaha Productions just signed on with Caesar, I believe.
Yep.
Caesar Sportsbook. I mean,
Wow.
Incredible. They
Peyton
signed the whole
doesn't really-
family.
He's unbelievable.
They signed the whole family, even Cooper.
Did they?
Yeah, even Cooper. They saw Archie, Eli, Peyton, and Cooper.
What interesting?
How about Olivia?
No, go ahead.
Well, no, there's a sidebar. Cooper being the oldest. I played with Archie Manning, so I know a little bit about it. Cooper being the oldest and being
That's
a little
what
bit
was
frustrated because brother right under him, Peyton Manning, is first ballot. Second brother, Eli Manning, not a first ballot. Questionable if he's a Hall of Fame or not.
He will end up being the first ballot.
But between the contracts, between those, you're probably at $250 million. So guess who handled that money for them?
That's the way to do it, right?
Yes, keep it in the family.
That's the way to do that.
Yes.
And it's Cooper's son who is the
Arch.
hot commodity, right? Right?
Young Arch, yes. Yeah. Archie Manning's grandson, Cooper Manning's son, can flat play. I think he's a 5-star, got all the offers from everybody in the country.
Wow.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is, as I use the word funny, Cooper's the funniest. Like, Cooper's the best. Like, we've had a chance to meet Cooper on a couple of different occasions, be it Pro Bowl, be it events with the NFL. Funny guy, great dude. People forget how good Cooper Cup. Well, he's amazing. Don't forget how good he is, even though he dropped a couple passes last night. Cooper was the best Manning. Like, he could catch. He was Peyton's wide receiver, and he was going to Ole Miss on a scholarship, and then broke his neck. And then he broke his neck, couldn't play. He went on to finish his degree. Like Dad said, he ended up, doing the finances for Eli and Peyton. But he was blessed because he's got the son that's going to be the heir apparent to the Manning franchise, if you will.
A lot happening here locally as well. The Detroit Pistons really got blown out last night. Embarrassing effort down there at Little Caesars Arena. I'm not sure when you want to start focusing on how bad that team is playing. We can hit on that a little bit later on. Also, the Detroit Lions.
Aren't the Lions enough?
Yeah, right.
The Lions.
I mean, I'm shocked at how bad the Detroit Pistons are. I was not expecting this at all.
Cade was good, though.
Cade was good, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much longer that can go on like that. These guys, one game you play well, and then boom. you get blown out. I think they were down by over 30 points yesterday against the Kings.
Yeah, what's interesting about basketball, and hopefully the Pistons for sure, is one or two players, a high draft pick next year and a monster trade that same year or year after, now you got a playoff contention team.
Sure.
So you can turn basketball around a lot quicker than you can turn football around.
Not to mention, Troy Weaver's already done a good job. He's brought pieces in to help them out. You got Sadiq Bey that's still on that team. He was on the first team, all-rookie team
so good,
last
too.
year. And he plays both ends of the floor. You see Cade Cunningham, you saw him in the game before, not so much in this game, but you saw the game before this game. You saw him being able to play in transition, play on both sides of the court, play with and without the basketball. So like you said, they're right there. Had a bad game. It happens in basketball a lot because there are 82 games. But to your point, you add two pieces, man. It turns them teams just like that.
Yeah.
The Red Wings lose somehow last night in Columbus as well. Red Wings have a 3-2 lead late in the third period, and before you know it, you look up, they lose 5-3. That was some very unfortunate last 5 minutes of the third period. They go down 5-3 to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that team is entertaining, and they are a much better team at Little Caesars Arena than they are on the road, but nonetheless.
So when it's a Red Wing, when were they in the championship last? How long ago was that?
2009.
2009?
2008.
2008. Well, they won it in 8.
But it was a 9.
They won it in 8, lost it in 9, right?
Yeah, so it was a 9. Yeah.
So
That was
the-
infamous Pittsburgh Penguins.
The point being is that they've got garnered so much street cred and credibility that they can have almost a decade now of not championship hockey, and we still give them a pass, as we should. Because for a while there, in the early 2000s and mid-2000s, they were something to watch.
Wasn't that something?
It was hot around here, and that was one of the times that this region became one of the greatest sports towns in the world.
Without question.
The Red Wings were part of that.
And we're still waiting for the Lions to kind of jump into that championship fray a little
hold your
bit.
breath.
And one guy who wants to be a part of that championship fray, Stan, is Taylor Decker. Lots being said about Taylor Decker today. Lots being written about Taylor Decker today. Just want to go back, if I could, play for you what he had to say yesterday to the media, and then I want to get your reaction to it because this guy is kind of the talk of the town right now. Here it is.
Well, frankly, I feel like the narrative of negativity surrounding my name all year pretty much has been I don't feel like it's been deserved. I do feel like people within the building, and I do feel like a lot of fans appreciate me and what I can do for this team. But yeah, the media pretty much all year has been pretty negative around me, and so I'm not going to act like I like that. I think it was. I've played a lot of football here, and I think I played well. So that's that.
So there you have it, Stan. I'll let you have the first crack at this. What do you make of Taylor Decker talking about the media and negativity surrounding his name?
Yeah, see, that's personality driven. You didn't find that out that he was that kind of guy at Ohio State because they won. And they won a great deal. And so he didn't have a lot of controversy surrounding his name. He comes here, and now you're in big boy football. People are going to talk about you, good or bad, every day. And he's not handling it well. And I'm like, Taylor, get over it. People are going to talk about you anyway. Even if we were lucky enough to be a playoff caliber team, they're going to still find something to say. And I think Taylor's got to figure out a way that you got to let this go, bud. This is not Columbus, Ohio. You have to grow up and deal with it and play football.
Yeah, my biggest concern is the Detroit Lions are a bad franchise right now, and we understand that it's a rebuilding year. So let's start there. It is a rebuilding year, but
Since 57.
With that being said, since 1957, there you go, Maz. They're 8-1.
Yeah.
They're 8-1. Everybody on this team has been talked about to some point. Everybody has been broken down. Everybody has been, talked about what they're not doing right, what they can do better. Everyone on this team, with the exception of one player, and that's Taylor Decker, and actually two players, and Ragnar and Okoro. Even Okoro got judged a little bit in the beginning before he was on the IR, but Taylor Decker and Ragnar, those are two players that haven't had to fall on the sword for what's happening with the Lions haven't won a game yet. Like, no one has talked negatively about Ragnar or Taylor Decker. The most that they have said about Ragnar and Taylor Decker is actually giving them credit and saying the best position on our team is the offensive line. the strongest position on the team is the offensive line. And so then media personnel, journalists, beat writers, they create hypotheticals because guess what? That's what we do.
Sure.
That's what we're in the business of. But educated hypotheticals, and we're like, well, what if you try to give yourself more draft picks, more draft capital, gain more positions, gain more starters? Who would you trade? Well, Taylor Decker's a guy that maybe can get you a 2 or a 3. Taylor Decker's a guy that maybe can get you a 2 and a 4, or maybe he can get you 2 starters, and then maybe Ragnow, etc. No one has talked about Taylor Decker in a negative light. That's the one thing about this that concerns me. No one has dogged you out as they dogged the Lions out this season, and even when mentioning in the trade, it's more so because of how good you are and how Pro Football Focus rates you, which Chad Johnson has gotten on the show and talked about, which Maz has gone extensively and talked about how Pro Football Focus has rated him, talked about his contract. It just confuses me that he's this sensitive about. I don't understand when nobody say anything wrong about it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, Stan. I got to take a break. When we come back, I want to get you to jump back in on this. Maz, I want to get your thoughts on it as well. Taylor Decker, what are you talking about, sir? We'll do that next. Sermani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for our good friends, our studio sponsors, MyBookie.ag. It's where I bet the San Francisco 49ers last night. Yes, I changed my mind, and I picked them with the 3.5 points. I didn't win my parlay, though, but at least I got that bet, and I got it on mybookie.ag. And if you're a first-timer, you got to get on there right now. Use the promo code Woodward because guess what? They're going to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right. That's money in your pocket. You can put $5 in, they'll give you $5 back. Put $1,000 in, they'll give you $1,000 back. Use that promo code Woodward. You got a full slate of NBA games tonight. Maction's going to go on the next couple of days as well. I think you can even bet on the CFL, Fish. I'm not sure, but I think you can on mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you got a problem gambling, make sure you call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 800-270-7117.
Guys, I want to jump back into Taylor Decker in the comments that he made yesterday, talking about negativity surrounding his name. Stan, sorry, I was thinking about Chad Johnson. Sure. Stan, talk to me about this whole thing here. Before I cut you off for a break.
No, it's okay. It's again, I think it's personality driven. Well, let's just think about something too, because we had a player here also who was really not talked about negatively because he came and he played well. He's playing for the Philadelphia Eagles now. Darius Slay was part of a team that was part of a losing culture. But Darius Slay didn't have a lot of negativity around his name because his play spoke for itself. And so where I think I might be splitting hairs here a little bit, Taylor Decker's not at the same, relatively speaking, level that Darius Slay is. Darius Slay didn't allow that to happen because he played. Taylor Decker's not a bad player. He's not a Pro Bowl player. And when you're on a losing team and not a Pro Bowl player, that's what happens.
He's a really good left tackle, an above-average left tackle, maybe one of the better left tackles in the NFC.
I think he ranks 12th.
Right.
12th. That's pretty good.
12th in the NFL.
Yeah, 12th out of 32.
So you're an above-average then. Is that what you would?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that an above-average? Yeah. And that's fine. I don't know how you get negativity out there. Now, whether it was Adam in the morning talking about, after week one, we saw how well Penei Sewell did on the left side against Joey Bosa.
We all
or
thought
Nick
of it.
Bosa or Joey Bosa, one of the Bosa guys.
Nick.
He said, it's a fireable offense if Dan Campbell was right. So what? You're having a reaction after one game. Like, are you really focused on that? I mean, somebody sends you that video. Are you really upset about that? Poor guy played one game. He did really well. Kill the guy over it. I mean, come on, it's not that big of a deal. Is it Valenti and Rico? I mean, Valenti came out and said, I would trade Decker, Ragnow, and Hockenson. And you know what? Why not? Well, seriously.
Trade them all. We said
mean,
it. We said it. Trade them all.
Or at least look at the possibility of doing that, and maybe once you look, you see that you've got this hell of a cap hit if you trade Taylor Decker, and it's probably not going to happen. But over the course of a conversation on how to get good quickly, I don't think that is a blasphemous statement to consider all of your options, because for many people out there, Braylon, they thought this Lions team was a 5, 6, or 7 win team. Right? They thought that nobody saw this 0-17 possibility coming. Not too many people.
Fish had him winning 10 games.
Because if you did, you would have flown to Vegas and done that under 5.5 or under 6. Not you, but I'm just saying.
Bet, but I've been saying they're going to be bad all year. But to your point, I'm like 5 or 6.
But did you think like a 5-12 season, or
I thought 3-14. Yeah.
3-14.
I said it, but we made our predictions when the season started. My biggest thing with Taylor Decker is this: listen, I've played on teams and I've seen people play on teams. Like, where the team is bad. Mm-hmm. The team is bad, and the people in terms of in the media, the people in terms in the fan base, in the community, they go after you. They say all types of measure of things. I've heard all types of measure of things, and I've seen people have the ability to get mad. Some do. Some talk about it in the media. Some talk about it in pressers, and some don't. But I've never seen it like this, where no one's talking about you. No one's talking negatively about you. And yes, I get it. You won at Ohio State. That was 6 years ago. Cry me a river. You haven't been winning recently. Mm-hmm. You haven't won in a while. In year 6, guys have families. Guys have other things going on. There is much more to focus on. Focus on the Lions franchise. Focus on the organization. Focus on Penei Sewell. Focus on your relationship with Ragnar. How's Ragnar doing? What's going on with him? Is he going to get back? What are you guys looking like for next year? Don't come back and worry about the Michigan guys. So people, they said some things about me and they hurt my feelings because they said that they wanted to trade me and I shouldn't be here. Shut up. Like, you got paid. You got paid handsomely. I don't know what made you good. I don't know what they saw in you in the first place. So I'm waiting to see that. But apparently you're an amazing player. You're a good player. So show it. Go out there, have fun, show it.
Can somebody play devil's advocate for me here for a minute? Because I try to see all sides of anything before I make my opinion. You know, when I see some of the tweets today about hot take artists and
what do you want
radio whatever talk show hosts, like, what do you defend? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you defending? What is the argument against some of these conversations that were happening, whether it was on 97.1 or whether it was here? What is the argument against having a conversation about moving Taylor Decker to the right side? What's the argument against even talking about it? And what's the argument against potentially trading Decker to Baltimore or Decker to Indianapolis, 2 playoff caliber teams that lost their left tackle? You're so bad that you have 3 pieces. You have 3 good players on your team that anybody else would want.
All on the O-line.
Well, and probably, Hawkinson, yeah, I guess, and Swift is one of them, so maybe 4.
Yeah.
What's the harm in discussing the possibility of moving them? Like, why is that such an outlandish idea? Anybody got a...
I got it for you. First of all, I think Taylor Decker had too much time on his hands. He's been off all these weeks.
Good. That's pretty good.
What is the worst thing that can happen to you? You start listening and people start talking to you. And I know Braylon's like, players don't listen to the radio. They don't listen.
That's not what I said.
Well, most players say we don't listen to the media.
We all do.
Taylor Decker said, I don't listen, but someone told me about it, Stan.
Yeah, Taylor Decker's not being honest right now. And what Taylor Decker's got to understand is that, hey, you're in the position that you're in now for a multitude of reasons. So if I'm the Lions, we got to figure out how do we turn this thing around quickly. Do you really have the regime? And I'm questioning it based on the draft and what Maz always brings up. Do you have the regime to really turn this thing around quickly? You have the salary cap room and you got the draft capital to, in 2 years, to win at least 8 to 10 games consistently. I'm not so sure that's going to happen because we don't know how good Brad Holmes is as a talent evaluator, is if this is the appropriate staff that Dan Campbell has to develop and grow players and win some games. But where we are right now, it's this doesn't make any sense what I'm going to say. The Lions are at a crossroad again. Did they actually bring in the right regime in here to turn this thing around?
We're not going to know for 3 years.
We're halfway through the regime's first year, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Taylor Decker is at the end of the day, just take a second, take a pause, relax, and chill, because everyone gets traded. Like, everyone gets traded. DeAndre Hopkins got traded for nothing, for a bag of peanuts, and look how good he is. And I can go down the list of players that have been traded, but it was, sir, you get the gist, you get the idea. If the worst thing that's been saying about you is, you know what, he's such in a good position right now where if we trade for him, we probably can get a lot in return. If that's the most that people are saying about you, if that's the negativity that people are saying about you, if that's what it comes to you for you to cry, man, I got a therapist number, and he's pretty good.
That's what they teach in Columbus, Ohio. Go ahead.
I just got to get it in. But Braylon, in even to the point about the trading, even the point about moving to right tackle, that was said in a positive way. That Taylor Decker
is skillful.
Is such a good teammate and such a good organization guy and such a quick study that he would have a much easier time going to the right side and leaving Penei Sewell on the left side. And maybe that's a way you could do this thing. Even that was said in the most positive sense. Now, if you go back, I don't think we were trying to start anything here, and I don't want to speak for the guys, Valenti and Rico.
Nobody around the state has been trying to start anything.
If memory serves correct, Dan Campbell was very non-committal when that question was asked to him well. Dan Campbell said, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, essentially, for lack of a better way to say it.
Hank Fraley was the one that says it ain't going to happen.
Hank Fraley said
it. And he went over Fraley.
Not Dan Campbell.
Correct.
Dan Campbell said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I don't know how negative it was to suggest him moving to the right side.
Well, let me say this. There's a reason why microphones sit in front of people every day. They need to address them and talk about things. So to the extent that we and other outlets need to talk about it, that's going to happen. Now, in what we talk about and what's being discussed, if he wants to debate that, that's okay. But I think based on the team that he's on, the position that he's in, that's a fair discussion. It's an absolutely fair discussion.
There's nobody untradeable on this team. Now, listen, they've taken the steps to improve the offensive line. All their money and their chips are on the O-line and their tight end. Everything else is a complete whitewash.
Right.
You have to start from scratch. Every other position. We're going to find out what kind of guy Brad Holmes is. We did like his first draft. We think we like it.
We think
we like it. Now let's see how draft number 2, the most important draft in Lions history, is going to be taking place in April.
I don't doubt that one bit.
Yeah, I tell you what.
That's spot on.
There are 2 tackles on the field on offense, and one of them gave up a sack on Sunday, and it wasn't Penei Sewell. So maybe Taylor Decker needs to spend more time worrying about blocking TJ Watt and the guys that are going to be in front of him versus if he's going to be here or not. Because the media came up with a hypothetical for a good player to help an organization. Worry about who your blocking assignment is on Sundays, buddy.
Well, one guy they got to take a look at is the quarterback, and Dan Campbell addressed why Jared Goff is still the quarterback of this team. You'll hear from Dan Campbell. We'll do that next and get our reactions to it as well. You are listening to Woodward Sports Network.
Armani and Edwards.
The bottom line.
And Edwards.
Yeah!
And Edwards.
Armani, Edwards, and Edwards. There we go.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Well, I think right now, when you think about what we've changed after the bye and the fact that we wanted to tinker with a couple of things, and then there again, I kind of took over the green dot, if you will. There was a certain way we wanted to go. We wanted to take shots early. We took one shot and we didn't get it, but there's also pressure in his face when he's trying to throw it. All right. So that thing comes up, and then you end up in one of these games where the weather, and you realize that you're running it well, you're going to continue to run it. Well, it's hard to it's hard to say that he shouldn't be the guy right now. It's hard to say that, man, because all right, man, make this. Well, there again, every time we try to throw it and drop back, just about where our protection breaks down, and so until we can do things right around him. Now, there's throws we want to see that he needs to make. I mean, there was a dart that we threw to Leaf, that he should make, and he's pissed off about it too. But ultimately, I still think right now he's the guy that gives us the best chance.
See, that's why I still have a man crush on Dan Campbell. I like the way he answered that. He was very emphatic. He was authentic. He didn't try to use fancy words to get around it. And that's a tough call because as poor sometimes as Jared Goff is playing, it can get a lot worse. Yeah, I've seen quarterbacks play 10 times worse than that, and Jared Goff is not playing well. And so, but the way Dan Campbell answered that question, I have another level of respect for him because he's in a tough position. He's got to find a different way to make an excuse every week.
He takes his time, too, you know.
Yes, he does.
He picks his words right.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Welcome back to Woodward Sports Network. If you're listening on 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2 FM, thanks for listening in. This is the Armani and Edwards program. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Stan Edwards with us as well. Stan and Braylon, too. How quickly, though, do you lose the locker room when you see a guy clearly not performing? He's clearly either last week he wasn't capable of throwing, wasn't putting his team in the best position to win. How quickly before you lose the locker room?
Are you talking about how quickly will you lose the locker room by keeping Jared Goff in there?
Yes.
He's not playing well?
Yes.
Well, if I don't think you lose it quickly at all if everyone in that locker room knows Jared Goff is bad, but what's behind him is a heck of a lot worse. And so we're going to do the best we can. We got to ride with him.
So true.
So and those guys know. But if the guy who's backing Jared Goff is lighting it up in practice when he gets his chance, you're going to start to say, Coach, what's going on here? Are we playing him? We getting our behinds handed to us because we got to pay him $25 million? Yeah. You'll lose it quick if that's the case.
And Braylon, that's kind of one of the things I said. Yeah, how bad does David Blau have to be to not even get a sniff in that game last week?
Well, two things. One, David Blau didn't outright take the starting job in college. Let's not forget that he went back and forth in college with Elijah Sindelar. So the fact that he couldn't become the starter in college lets you know one thing. Also, too, like I've been there before, like where the guy is getting clamored behind him. I remember being in Cleveland my rookie year. Everybody wanted Charlie Fry. Everybody wanted Charlie Fry. I remember it was Charlie Fry. The chance for Charlie Fry out of Akron, same draft class as me. Yep. He got in there, ran a little bit with his feet.
Didn't you do a McDonald's commercial with him?
I did do a McDonald's commercial with him. I don't need a fry, I already got one. But, he comes in. He replaces Trent Dilfer, and he comes back. He's the guy in the start of the second year. Right. He's the guy. And we had Derek Anderson come in. Oh. And Charlie was playing bad, and then now they're booing him, and now they want Derek. We knew what Derek can do. Right. We saw Derek in practice. We were like, man, it's only a matter of time before they give Derek a chance. It's only a matter of time before they put him in there. Man, it's only a matter. And the fans were waiting for it. And then when they put him in there, obviously he went to the Pro Bowl, had a year. But that's because we knew what he can do. We knew what we saw behind him. I've also been on teams where you're clamoring for the guy, where the fans are clamoring for the guy that's starting to be benched. No, we need the guy behind you. No, who's the guy next up? And we're like, nah, you we
know something you don't know.
You don't want Ken Dorsey to come in.
That's so funny.
You don't want the next guy. So it's like that sometimes.
Just remember, David Blau probably would not be the backup had not TB12 gotten hurt. Our own
Tim
TB12.
Boyle.
Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle. He still might get healthy before this year's over.
Right.
Matter of fact, I think he's due to come off the IR pretty soon. You might see Tim Boyle. You might see the guy that they said, maybe this guy could do something for you.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of inept coaching, at least from Dan Campbell and some of his decisions he made. He's handcuffed. His hands are tied, and he doesn't have a lot to work with. And he's got to make some decisions and try to make this team respectable. They come out and they play hard all the time. They don't sit back and lay over and just get beat. They try to fight. And he's got to figure out a way to continue to do that and keep his job and don't let public sentiment get him run out of here.
One of those decisions that he made, Stan, was taking over the play calling responsibilities from Anthony Lynn. What does that signify to you? Because, Anthony Lynn talked about how he was ready to take a year off, and then Dan Campbell came to him. This opportunity here in Detroit presented itself, and it was one that he felt he could come here and help. What impact does that have on Anthony Lynn, and what does that tell you about Dan Campbell taking those responsibilities away from him?
I'm going to defer that to Anthony Lynn's former player that's sitting right behind me. But I will say this first, is that when you have a coach take over, that's a severe sign of something is not working correctly, and it will be changed very soon.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. You didn't see the level of success in L.A. with the Chargers that they're having now with Justin Herbert now that they've been able to have. You say that the level of offensive production went up when Anthony Lynn left. You look this year, it looks like they have been struggling all year. He's made some, at times you saw some openings. You saw a little bit in the Green Bay game. You saw some stuff at SoFi, Los Angeles Rams game. But once again, it's few and far in between. It just doesn't look good. And we talked about this yesterday, Dad. Talk about head coaches being handicapped. Talk about head coaches also going down with the ship. How oftentimes do you see head coaches not wanting to step in when the defense, and a lot of times they're of that mind. They're a defensive mind, and they don't want to step in when the defensive coordinator is struggling because they don't want to come behind their guy or undermine their guy. Same thing on offense. If it's an offensive-minded guy, they don't want to come in behind the OC and make him look bad and have the public say he doesn't trust him. So many times you see coaches go down with the ship because they don't want to tell their boy, yo, you suck right now. Or what they're saying about you in the public is true. So for him to come in and step in that soon, that early, says a lot about who he is.
Well, then again, a lot of times, although Anthony Lynn was a player too, but Dan Campbell played in the league. And a lot of times you find coaches who played in the league who are now head coaches approach their coaching strategy a little different than guys who never played. There's this thing and this ego thing because coaching in the NFL, you got one of 32 jobs on the planet, whatever position you might have. So there's this ego thing about if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down my way with my guy. And that makes no sense to me because you don't necessarily have to go down.
No, you don't.
Exactly.
But there seems to be some badge of honor in doing it that way. And Dan Campbell, based on this move, is saying, you're my guy, I don't plan on going down.
I got news for you. Last week's game, Sunday's game, I enjoyed the play calling. I think we should run it down teams' throats, especially next year when you get Ragnow back. You can run left, you can run right. When Ragnow's back, you can run up the middle. You got a guy that runs hard. Stan, you can say it. DeAndre Swift, he is a hard runner, man. He don't quit on any back.
Player.
Jamal Williams is a tough runner. You don't have him right now.
Right.
But the Lions' MO going forward should be run it down their throats. Throw a couple of passes like Jim Harbaugh did to Eric All. That's your Hawkinson. That's it. A couple of those. Your receivers aren't getting open. That's what you do. Just run it down their throat.
If those guys can really start to develop this running game, and they were running before T.J. Watt got hurt. They were coming at him and going up there, and they were getting some movement on that line of scrimmage. You can do a number of things that help this team. One, you can shorten the game. And by the chance you shorten the game, then you'll be able to take some shots here and there and be able to do that. So Dan Campbell calling the plays last week was a little bit of surprise that I think might continue to happen that way.
Old school.
And Braylon, I got to tell you, it looked like at least the Lions called a game, had a game plan tailored towards the talent that they have on the field.
Right.
Finally. Like they weren't trying to stick a round ball through a square peg. This is what they had. This is the game plan that they went into the game with. That you should feel good about that. I mean, so many times coaches have a philosophy, and they're going to do that philosophy no matter what, regardless who's on the field. This is what they wanted to do.
Yeah, sometimes coaches can't get out of their own way. Sometimes coaches see it a certain way. They see Jared Goff and they see the success he had with the Los Angeles Rams. They also see players on their team. They see the NFL. Or they watch film and they see other players that, well, this team did this against this team. Well, this team did this against this team. Well, that team has a lot more than you have. That team's playing with they're playing with different type of weapons. Yeah. They're playing with Pro Bowl weapons. They're playing with some high-paid players. You don't necessarily have that. And we've been asking for that all year. We've been asking for it all year, man. Like, just take the throws that you have. Make the throws that are there. Like, call the game according to what you have. And you're starting to see that, Ryan Romani. You're starting to see that. You know what? We don't have the type of offense that the Cowboys are going to have. We don't have that, but we have a running back that runs hard. We have an offensive line that plays hard. We have actually a team that plays hard. They may not be the best team, but this team plays hard. They play from start to finish. Why don't we just run the ball?
I'm not saying run Swift 40 times a game. He can't. Right. But you got Jamar Jefferson, who I really thought looked good last week till he got hurt. Jamal Williams coming back. And Dan Campbell said it. When Jared Goff goes back to pass, that's not a great protection for him. So maybe this O-line is just better right now at protecting the run. Blocking for the run, they're not as good at blocking for the pass. So just use your strengths right now.
Got to get a break. When we come back, Golden Tate had something to say for Lions fans. I want to get your guys' take on that. Also, Michigan and Michigan State. Boy, it's a 2-game season. We'll get Stan Edwards' opinion on what he sees, how he sees the remaining 2 weeks of the regular season playing out. We'll do it next. Hermione and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Are you trying to put some money in your pocket? I'm talking about some real money, some good money, some career type money, especially in the industry that is always essential. That's right. I'm talking about the heating and cooling industry. Visit northwesterntech.edu to find out how you can make $77,000 right out the gate. Visit northwesterntech.edu. Heating and cooling, baby.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. Ryan Hermione, Braylon Edwards, Stan Edwards joining us as he does each and every Tuesday. Tom Mazaway as well. We've got Fish and Alex Mayer, our Michigan State beat writer over there, beat reporter. We'll get his take on Michigan State a little bit later in hour number 2. But I wanted to throw this tweet up from Golden Tate just to quickly before we get to college football. Golden Tate had this to say after the Lions tied on Sunday. I'm so sorry for you, Lions. You don't deserve this feeling week in and week out. Golden, one, how is he not in the league right now? That's one. And two, what do you make of that, Braylon?
Yeah, and I wrote this note earlier when I was looking at it. Is players always love and respect the franchises, but more importantly, the fan bases that always treated them well. Like, you'll go places and have, maybe a bad time with the franchise, but you'll have a good time with the fan base. The fan base is good. You guys do right by each other, so you're always checking up for that team. You care about that team. Golden had nothing but love here. Like, the fans loved him here. Mm-hmm. Like, he endeared himself to the community. He was around the community. He did a lot of things for less fortunate kids and families. And excuse me. And so, in doing so, made a home here. This is the second place he came after Seattle. Really kind of a place that he made his own. Like, this is where he was married when he was here. So he loves his time here. When you see a city and a team, you see the fan base struggling, you don't want to see that fan base struggle. You love that fan base because that fan base loves you. Also, you want to let them know you're creeping around. And you never know what this means for a job in the front office or something like that. But he had a good time here. He endeared himself with the fans. The fans love him. So, you check on him from time to time. Plus, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it is hard to watch. And I'm like you, Ryan. I don't know why Golden Tate is not part of this roster right now. Everything points to everything that he would bring, the familiarity with the area. The fans know him and love him, and he can play.
I've been saying this for 5-6 weeks.
He can play. And so maybe the front office knows something about him that we don't know.
They're just cheap.
Thank you.
Other than have to pay this rookie minimum.
That's it.
Because his rookie minimum is probably at $7 million right now. I'm sorry, at 7 figures.
Is he 10? Is he 10 years in?
They're cheap.
But listen, they're $15, $17 million under the cap.
If you make more than $500,000, they're not signing you.
Yeah,
that's it.
You don't think
he makes more than that?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because you don't think a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown could
benefit
could
from that
benefit
type
from
of
him.
tutelage.
I mean, I know Antoine Randall is, I love Antoine Randall, but I mean, my goodness, couldn't you?
There's one thing to coach it. There's one thing when you're coaching players and you're telling players and you're placing players and you're telling, hey man, make sure you get your right foot up as opposed to your left foot. Right. Make sure you get to the boundary and not the field. It's one thing to be able to talk about. There's another thing when you got a guy that's going out there and actually doing it. Right. He's in the huddle with it. He's like, nah, I'm out. Come on, wrong. Come on this side. Come on this side. Nah, switch your feet. Nah, I want to run it like this and do that. There's another thing when you're getting that on-field presence, that on-field do work type mentality. Like, it's different. Like you can't account for that, and they don't have that. They don't have that type of play.
Guys, can we switch gears a little bit here and get to some college football? Michigan, you're wearing the Block M stand, so I got to get there first. Michigan, 21-17 winners over Penn State. First time since 2001 the Wolverines have won at Wisconsin and at Penn State in the same year. 20 freaking years since they've done that. They host Maryland this week. They're 14-point favorites. Just your overall sense of what you saw over the weekend, Stan, and moving forward, 2-game season.
Well, early in the game, I knew we would probably start off a little bit slow because I think we are still trying to play at a championship level on the road. Yes, we played well on the road early against Wisconsin, but this team is not used to going into a hostile environment and taking over a stadium. So I knew we would start slow. But I also knew if we were close coming back late in the game that their coach on the sideline was going to give it to us. James Franklin is not an in-game, big-game coach. He is not. And I knew, and even the last play was 4th and 2, and they threw a fade.
Yeah.
I don't know whose idea that was.
What was that?
And it was out of bounds.
And so
nice handshake too at the end of the game.
I didn't see the handshake. Talk to me about that.
Cold.
Very Harbaugh and Schwartz.
And so where he was a hot commodity for a few jobs a few weeks ago, I think he may need to try to sign an extension if there's one on the table for Penn State sooner than later, because I think he's going to continue to drop down in everybody's eyes as being a hot commodity coach.
Yeah, the big thing for me that I saw at the Penn State game, and we could talk about it moving forward to the Maryland game, is first downs. That's an area they struggle in. Right now, they're number 37 in the country in terms of completing third down. Third down percentage, they're third in the country. Third down percentage, they're 37th in the country. Not as high as they want to be. They're 48%. Like, you notice with them in the first half, they don't make a lot of third down. No, they don't convert a lot of third downs. Mm-hmm. Their touchdowns, and when they get to lower and to the red zone, when they get to the goal line, those things happen on first down. Right. Those plays happen on second down. They don't convert third. They don't extend drives, keep drives going, beat you up with drives, and maul you with the drives. They don't do that. That's something that they got to get better at. And then on defense, the things that I see, and it didn't happen that much. It didn't happen to where it was a problem, but it's happened in the past. That backside cut, and I said something that I think Dad and I were talking during the game, when they run the opposition. So now we're talking about when Penn State's on the ball, on the field, or Maryland's on the field, or Ohio State, whoever's on the field. When they run the ball to the right. Everybody syncs up. Everybody meets at the line of scrimmage. The backside, they all over pursue. The corner, they run into there. The backside, the Sam linebackers, they run over to the ball as well. No one protects and contains the backside of the field. That's why you see running backs run into the back of their lineman, and then they cut back, and there's nothing open there but clear grass. You saw in the Northwestern game, 75-yard touchdown, cut back to the left. You saw in this game against Penn State, they had two opportunities that they almost broke where they cut back to the left, starting off to the right. Michigan State with Kenneth Walker, Kilter's doing the same thing. They're going to have to shore up the Sam and backside corner.
The most important person on the Michigan football team right now is Hassan Haskins. If he can continue to bleed yardage, as we used to say in the olden days, and keep the pressure off of Cade McNamara, and he can do some play action and do some of those quick passes, I think that will go a long way. I honestly think, however Ohio State plays this weekend, win, lose, or draw against Michigan State will determine if I believe Michigan can beat Ohio State this year or not. I think how they prepare for Michigan State, and I'm speaking of Ohio State, will give me a really good indication if this is the year that Michigan beats Ohio State.
Let me get there quickly then. What about Michigan State this week? Because, I mean, you see what Ohio State did to Purdue, and you're just thinking to yourself, Does Michigan State have that kind of game in them? Does Michigan have that kind of game in them? I mean, that is elite stuff. But we have not seen that every week out of the Buckeyes.
Well, because they are not a veteran team. They're uber talented. They have a lot of talent on their team, but they're young, and I don't know if they know how to come and play at that level all the time. When they come to Ann Arbor, it's going to be a different environment. They may very well be ready, and they may give us their best shot, which their best shot is something that we really have to be prepared to take. But I'm not so sure that this team is mature enough to come in and week out and be prepared to play. So beating up on a Penn State team, I don't think that's a heck of an accomplishment. I like to see them coming in Ann Arbor ready to play. Then I'll be a believer. I'm not taking anything away to what Ohio State has done over the last 8 to 10 to 20 years. They've been a good team. But this particular team this year, I'm not sold on that this is a national caliber team.
And Braylon, if not this year, though, for Michigan, and I know we're glossing over the Michigan State game, and I certainly don't want to do that, but, we're talking Michigan right now. Yeah, but if not this year, then when do you beat Ohio? I said this in September, before the season even started. When you got a freshman quarterback at Ohio State, you've got the game at your place. If you don't beat Ohio State this year, when are you going to beat them? And especially, now I didn't know that Hutchinson and Ojabo were going to be as good in September as they turned out to be. But Aiden Hutchinson is most likely, when it's all said and done, going to be a number 1 or a number 2 pick in the NFL draft this year. Ojabo is probably going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft.
He'll be top 10.
You have 2 defensive ends on your team that can get to the quarterback. 2 top 15 NFL draft talent on the defensive line against a freshman quarterback at your place. If you cannot do it now, when can you do it?
Here's a secret. You ready for this? Never. And this is why I say that. They are a really good ball club this year. They've played much better than any of us anticipated them playing. They found pieces time and time again. They found players. They've come up with players. You're like, oh man, where'd this guy come from? And the player looks to be, Anthony. You look at what he was able to do in the Michigan State game. You look at Brown when your boy Bell goes down. Ojabo when you're talking about Aiden Hutchinson early in the year. But next year, Ohio State's team maturates. Everybody's coming back. Like this whole team that you're talking about is young. Dad's talking about is young. They're a young team and they're trying to figure it out. Well, after this season, they will have figured it out. You're coming back. It's not like you're coming back and they're missing pieces and you're adding the youth that you had this year, but now you're coming back and you're experienced and you're more mature. Guess what? They are too. It's got to be this year. This is the year you have the jump on them. This is the year you take it. It has to be this year for me. Like, I don't even have to go in depth with that answer. It has to be this year. They're coming to the big house. You have what you need out of Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is a quarterback, doesn't turn the ball over. That's all I need. He can make the throws when it counts. He doesn't turn the ball over. They have enough. They have enough in the wide receiver in the skill position. They have a dual threat at running back with Corum and Haskins, who love playing that role. They love playing together. They play better when they play together. Offensive line play as well. On defense, they get it. Like, they get it. They are going to be the disrupting force that can help them beat C.J. Stroud and Ohio State. It has to be this year.
Well, Ryan, you say if not now, when? I think this is a different staff and it's a different culture that's being developed in Ann Arbor. So even if they don't win this year, I still think down in Columbus next year, even though losing Ojabo and Hutchinson, they still might have the mentality and the development that looks like there's taking place in Ann Arbor now to beat them maybe next year or the following year. Yes, Ohio State is extremely talented. Yes, they're extremely young this year, and we're playing well, and we think we're going to lose 2 first-round draft choices this year. But I think there may be some players on that team that are coming up that we can do. They'll be able to do it next year, if not this year.
They will go to Columbus with an upperclassman at quarterback in Cade McNamara. He spoke with Molly McGrath after the game. Really remarkable stuff. And I want to ask you guys about J.J. McCarthy. Saturday was the first time we had not seen him in a game this season. Has he played his last game for Michigan in 2021? Is it Cade the rest of the way?
Or ever?
Wow, don't get crazy now, Maz. Don't be talking to me about no transfer portal.
Hey,
I don't even want
Cade's back next year, right?
I don't want to hear
Okay.
it. Please, no. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, gang, I want to let you know about turkey games. Yep, that's right. Woodward Sports giving you the chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving Day. Lions and Bears, all you have to do is survive our turkey games. Listen every morning to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m., Big D Energy at noon, and the bottom line at 3 for your chance to qualify. The winner of the turkey games, again, 2 tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit, plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey game challenges, just watch and listen. Today's word is going to be what, Stan? Give me a word. Any word.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. When we say gobble, gobble in the 3 o'clock hour, just go ahead to the YouTube chat. Be the first to write gobble, gobble in the 3 o'clock hour. You'll be qualified today. We'll get qualifiers through the 22nd. And then, of course, give that winner away on November 23rd.
I just saw you hug it out with Andrew Vastardis. What was that moment about?
He's been here for so long. I mean, his body has gone under some serious pain over the last 5 years, and this one means a lot. It means a lot. For the guys who've been here, we were so close 2 years ago. We didn't pull it through, but we pulled this one through.
You definitely did, and you guys have talked a lot about still having your goals right in front of you. If this team continues to win out, is this a playoff team?
Yes, without a doubt.
You're a little emotional. Why?
I don't know. It's just like when I came to Michigan, especially with the class that we came in with, we wanted to be the change. We wanted to make a difference, and this is a game change. This is a testament to that. I mean, the amount of guys that came in, and I mean, I've said it multiple times before. This team is different, and couldn't love those guys anymore.
Congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your team. Thanks, Cade.
Thank you.
That was Cade McNamara with Molly McGrath after the game. Michigan beat Penn State 21-17. And I'll tell you this much, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback, man.
Okay, Tio.
Seriously, my goodness. Stan?
Yeah, well, a lot of people are clamming for J.J. McCarthy, 5-star, uber-talented, big arm. I 100% stand behind Coach Harbaugh. Cade McNamara has a team that's 9-1 and ranked in the top 10 in the country. You cannot question that. The kid has mastered this offense. He is, if you want to call him a game manager, that's fine. He might not be the most talented. They're 9-1 and they're top 10, and they're right on the outside of being in the bowl championship series.
Braylon, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, feel free.
How do you, because I think this is an important point to make here. How do you, as a coach or even a player, manage expectations? Because you are 9-1. You have a chance to have all of your goals still in front of you. But you got these 2 shiny pieces that are freshmen. I'll include J.J. McCarthy in that, and I'll also include Donovan Edwards in that, who is the best running back in the state of Michigan, one of the best in the Midwest. He's got Haskins and Corum. Hasn't really played much this year at all. Corum was out this week. He got a cup of coffee in that game a little bit. But these 2 players look around the country and they see freshmen playing all over the place. And, you know, next year, Haskins will be gone, but Corum will probably be, you know, the lead back next year with Edwards playing, you know, that number 2 back role. And McCarthy would probably have to wait another year. How do you manage that as a coach or even a player to wait your turn these days? Because it's so hard to do. It's the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is to leave now.
So let me answer it first. Now, I know the question was thrown for Braylon. How you answered is the guy sitting behind me didn't play his first year. Jake Long, the number 1 overall pick, didn't play his first year. the GOAT, who might be the greatest player to ever play NFL, didn't play his first year. So Donovan Edwards, J.J. McCarthy are not owed anything. If they are going to be that good, then you'll get your chance next year.
I think on the other side, too, even more recently, you just look at Alabama. Alabama never has to ask these questions. Clemson, when they were doing their thing, they didn't have to ask these questions. Oklahoma, they don't have to ask these questions because they've had so much success. Like, players, they come in and they see it. Players legitimately walk into Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State. They know that they're going to be sitting their butts on the bench, and they know somebody's going to be there that's going to be talented, and they're going to have to wait their turn. They're going to have to stay the course, but they know why they're staying the course. They're staying the course because they want to be a part of greatness. They're staying the course because they want a chance to be in the NFL. They're staying the course because they want to be an all-American, an all-conference, etc. I think Michigan is entering those type of thought processes with their players, because you look like Dad said, with the new coaching staff that they have, with what they have in play, what Harbaugh, what they're doing, what you see, there's a young team there. There's a young nucleus of players that are going to be here for a while. This 9-1 can be next year and the year after that. If that's what's going on, if I'm Edwards, if I'm J.J. McCarthy, I'm like, man, we're in a good situation. I'm in a good situation. This is a good thing. Let me just relax for a second.
And I do, Tom, think it's worth pointing out as well that neither J.J. McCarthy or his family or Donovan Edwards or his family have mentioned anything about any transfer portal or anything about discontent or anything like that. This is just a couple of guys talking.
That's it. We're talking sports. We're talking what could happen.
Taylor, this is what we do. We just
we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We're just doing sports talk right now. And I just want to say, today's kid, they don't wait. They don't wait. They want instant.
And if they don't get instant, they quit.
They quit.
And what is a way to quit in college football?
Transfer portal.
Transfer.
Tell me Lane Kiffin or someone who coaches Georgia now. Tell me they're not knocking on this kid's door a little bit and saying, "Hey,
the guy that wears the visor, Kirby Smart.
Yeah, come on over here. We got you, man. We're gonna play you right away. Don't wait around. I know Lane Kiffin's got Arch Manning in his pocket. He probably doesn't need J.J. McCarthy. He's going to get Arch. But there are other teams out there that are going to flash the gold to these kids. These kids don't wait around, man. And this ain't Alabama. Nick Saban isn't on the sidelines. It's Jim Harbaugh.
I also understand that, but at the same time, the reason why I brought that up, though, is those guys always have the highest level of success, and that's what Michigan is doing right now. Like, when you look at Alabama and you look at the guys in the waiting list, like Derrick Henry had to wait his turn, too. He had to wait behind Quentin Richardson. He had to wait behind TJ.
That was the old days.
But even still, more reason, Najee Harris had to wait. You look at the monster that they had down there in Georgia with DeAndre Swift. Swift was a part of that monster. Najee Harris was a part of another monster in Alabama where he had to wait his turn as well. If you're Edwards and you're looking at the rankings and you're looking at the statistics and you're looking and you say, you know what, my team, my running backs, the guys that I back up, they lead the nation in rushing, like the rushing game. Michigan has the #1 rushing offense in the country
so far.
Okay, but we're talking about right now. We're not talking.
But I'm going to say this: if you don't go beat Ohio State and they beat you down.
Then what am I answering the question for right now? The question was right now. The question wasn't about 2 years from now.
No, I'm telling you now. If they lose to Ohio State, these kids are going to like, where am I going? Where are we going? Where am I going? What am I waiting around here for? We're never going to win.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if their decision is based on what happens against Ohio State or not. Because wherever they go, they're going to have to compete with somebody. Now, what is a brain fart to all of us around here is, how did Kenneth Walker III get out of
Wake
Forest again? So do one of these guys think they're the next Kenneth Walker III? I don't know. What they got to make sure is they're assessing their talent and how good they are before jumping and making a hasty decision like that.
And again, there's time will tell, and it's worth repeating that neither player or any of their family members have said anything about transfer, and we're just kind of throwing it out there because, look, you look around the country and it is easy for college freshmen to play in today's college football. And when you're not playing, you're sitting. And when you're sitting, you're probably unhappy or think you should be playing. Stan, any parting words for us today? Any words of wisdom as we...
we did an hour already?
I'm telling you, 1 hour in the books.
The last 2 weeks of Big Ten football have not been more excited or this exciting in a long time, so it should be fun. We cannot absolutely take Maryland lightly. They can throw the football, which means they can stay in the game or get back in the game quickly. But Michigan State and Ohio State is going to be fun to watch.
We certainly appreciate your time. Braylon, when we come back, I want to look at these college football playoff rankings tonight. Are these one of the more worthless rankings tonight because of what's ahead? Yeah. And I want to go around the NFL as well. Okay. We didn't have a chance to do that yesterday. We're going to do it today. Take a look at Matthew Stafford and the Rams. My goodness, what happened to this football team? Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. It happens. That's what Forrest Gump said. It happens.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
It happens.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our Turkey Games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. Chris and Noni Hutt. They are your hosts, and they are the hostesses with the mostesses. That's right. Get out the foaling. What's foaling? It's bowling with a football. You throw football at bowling pins. That's how fun this game is. Home of the original foaling game. It's host your corporate party, team building event. Just come in with family or friends. 2 ways to play. $10 unlimited play. You can go, they open up, you can stay till they close. Or a private lane reservation, $120 for 10 people, and 2 hours you get it for. They have over 100 beers and the $2 mystery beer machine, multiple full bars, and best of all, you can bring your own food in. You can have a picnic there and foal as well. You can have food delivered as well. Come get your foal on. Check it out at foalingwarehouse.com.
Guys, college football playoff rankings are going to happen tomorrow. Tonight. We'll talk about it a lot tomorrow after we gobble up some dinner or something.
Yeah, gobble on.
Yeah, and do that, if you will. You are listening to the Armani and Edwards program. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Fish and Alex Mayer. Going to get Alex Mayer to jump in here in just a little bit talking about the Spartans. But Braylon, tonight, college football playoff rankings come out. Do you anticipate anything crazy to happen tonight? I almost believe this is an easy week to rank these teams because of what is ahead, and everything will play out.
Yeah, nothing should change. I mean, obviously, Oklahoma lost. They were ranked 8th. Oklahoma did lose. So you'll get some changing in that with that stat. But other than that, no. You don't want to put Michigan State ahead of Michigan because you don't have to, because it's going to play itself out right now. Ohio State and Oregon. You don't have to put Ohio State ahead of Oregon because it's about to play itself out. I did watch the Oregon-Washington State game. I think Washington State's not a bad ball club, but what I saw, Ohio State's clearly head and shoulders above Oregon, but they're about to have to handle and cross that bridge, cross that road. So it's easy for the committee this week. They can just go in there and just, you know what, put them here because of this, put them here because of this, and let things play itself out.
Couple of things I'm interested in. Do we have last week's playoff rankings? If we can get those on the screen now, if you watch on YouTube. Couple of things. And I do think the Ohio State-Oregon thing, that's a big difference. 3 versus 4. Do you want to play Alabama or do you want to play Georgia? I'm not sure who is a team that you're looking forward to playing. Yeah, I guess maybe not. You're probably right about that. You're probably right about that. As I look up, do you want to?
If I can get the 2 somehow.
Yeah. Do you want to die quickly or die a slow death? That's basically.
And that would be interesting if Ohio State can somehow get the 2, and if they got down.
I'm curious to see. If Cincinnati remains at 5, or
Right.
if Michigan moves up a little bit. Does Michigan get to 5 this week after beating Penn State on the road? And I'm actually curious to see what happens with Oklahoma State at 10 here. Because Oklahoma's going to jump out. They're out.
Don't forget Notre Dame. They're going to move up.
They're going to move up by way of...
Well, on the AP poll, they moved into the top 5.
Yeah.
I know you'd say the AP
I
poll
don't
is
care about
worthless,
that.
but it does carry some weight.
How far does Oklahoma State jump up? Does the Big 12 now have any opportunity at a college football playoff because of Baylor beating Oklahoma? I think the Big 12 is out. I don't think a one-loss Oklahoma team or a one-loss Oklahoma State team has any claim to any college football playoff. Oklahoma's lost, knocked the Big 12 out.
Oklahoma was undefeated this whole year, and they weren't getting any love.
Yeah.
So that right there tells you that there's no love for the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
There's no love. Like, you guys were undefeated with Oklahoma, a team that's been to the playoff twice or 3 times actually, and you still weren't breaking the top 8, and they were undefeated. So no, there's no love for them. There's going to be no love for Oregon soon. There's going to be love for Oregon soon.
You know, the argument last week, and it's probably going to be the argument this week, how is Michigan ahead of Michigan State if, Ohio State is not in front of Oregon? And the only reason Ohio State is not in front of Oregon is because Oregon beat Ohio State head-to-head. So how can that be the metric for one ranking, but not the metric for the other ranking?
Because MSU lost to a non-top 25 team when they did, was Purdue. Ohio State hasn't lost. They just lost to Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it because I'm a Michigan guy and I like being in front of those guys. But honestly, I just don't think it makes a ton of sense because you don't have to do it. You don't have to have the controversy. I guess it's good to have some controversy. And we know that better than anybody. It's good to have some controversy. That's the only controversial thing you can have in here is to put Michigan in front of Ohio State and Michigan in front of Michigan State. You could do that as well and probably have an even easier claim to it if you put Ohio State above Oregon.
I just think when they chose to do the Michigan in front of Michigan State scenario in the deal, there still were 4 games left in the season. You're still ultimately trying to see, like, well, you know what, they beat Michigan State. But then Michigan State dropped one, and they lost one to Purdue, which was an unranked team. They still like Michigan. They like Michigan even after Michigan had lost to Michigan State. They liked them after Michigan State beat Indiana. So now you're thinking about the future. What happens if it plays out this way? What happens if Michigan doesn't get a chance to get to the championship? What if they run the tables but they don't get a shot? What if Michigan State somehow runs the tables, etc.? So what the committee did was they put them in a position. They put them as close as they could. Close as they could would be the best position if they don't have a chance to play in the conference championship. That's why they were there, essentially. If they didn't have a chance to play for a conference championship, well, at least we put them close. At least they're hanging around, they're hovering around, waiting for some things to change, waiting for some losses to happen. At the end of the day, they put Michigan State third. Michigan State lost to an unranked Purdue. There's your answer. Like, Michigan's only loss is to Michigan State, who was ranked. Like, it's no more, no less. I don't understand why people are diving and trying to understand, well, why is this and why is this? This doesn't. It makes sense. Michigan lost to Michigan State that was third at one point. And then Michigan State turned around and lost to Purdue that was unranked. That's why they're ranked below Michigan. But they have the opportunity to jump Michigan after this week. They have the opportunity to jump Michigan after next week. Everything has an opportunity to play itself out, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Oregon beat Washington State, a team that lost their head coach a few weeks ago because he wouldn't take the COVID vaccine. They beat them by 14. Ohio State ran 40-some-odd points up on Purdue.
45 in the
first half. Took their foot off the gas, played their quote-unquote scrubs the rest of the game, and they kind of coasted. If anyone's going to jump, it could be Ohio State jumping Oregon this week.
Mel Tucker, Braylon, as you mentioned, the Spartans have a chance to jump a lot of people this week and get back into that top 4 in the playoff ranking and really set themselves up for a Big Ten championship game appearance and a college football playoff appearance. Mel Tucker talked to his team about getting his team mentally ready for a big game in Columbus.
Well, we have to focus on what's important. First of all, we have to block all the noise out and eliminate the distractions, and then focus on our preparation, every day. The film study, the meetings, practice, corrections, things like that, things we do in the weight room. It's a process, so it's nutrition, rest and recovery, training room, getting guys back, all the little details in every area of the program. We have to do those things at a very high level and be effective and efficient this week leading up to the game. And then we have to do simple better. It's going to come down to blocking and tackling, taking care of the ball, taking the ball away, the basics. That's what it's going to come down to, execution in the game. And that's why our preparation has to be stellar this week.
Dang, I almost fell asleep during that clip. Here's a great. Well, let me back up. Let me say this about Mel Tucker and something that he said in the presser yesterday. He said that he is not in the business. He is not in the business of shootouts. He said that actually shootouts make him vomit. The thought of shootouts make him vomit. Well, two things. One, the team you're about to play is averaging 50 points a game, and it's a clean 50. It's a very easy 50. It's a clean 50. And secondly, your defense is giving up 550 yards a game on offense, especially in the passing game. They're darn near 350 yards passing. With that being said, get ready for a shootout. And I hope you bring a little doggy bag that you can throw up in on the sideline. But just be happy, though, that he has a team that can compete with a shootout. You have players in the Kenneth Walker III, Peyton Thorne, Naylor, Reed, Hayward. You have guys that can help you in a shootout. So get ready. It could be a shootout. With that being said, this is what we need to talk about. If Michigan State, if they handle business and they get the job done and they beat C.J. Stroud, a freshman quarterback, get it done, how far up the list do they jump? Because right now, you look at the list right now, there's 7. They're behind Michigan at 6. Cincy undefeated 5. Ohio State, 1 loss, who they're about to play. And then Oregon, 1 loss, sitting at 3. Can Michigan State essentially beat Ohio State and shoot up to 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
They absolutely could. They'll jump Michigan, Cincinnati, Ohio State, and then the question is,
I think they jump Oregon too.
Does a win at Ohio State jump Oregon, who also had a win at Ohio State? Whose win is more impressive? Which team is playing better now? I think you'd have to give that to the Spartans. Going to take a break. When we come back, more Michigan State. Also going to get to the NFL. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Miraculous catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked freaking awesome. That's right. Open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. All you got to do, 3-step process. Just walk through that door. Walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Wee baby. That's right. There. Lady Jane's, come on in. See the stylist, sit down, watch a little television, talk to your friends, whatever the case may be. It's all good. Lady Jane's wicked awesome. Hey, you know what? Screw this college football talk. Let's get into some NFL talk, okay? Woo! Let's go around the league and Fish, give me some good music here, please.
Give him Michigan
Let's
State.
Let's get a little energy.
Got energy. Let's go.
Let's talk about this game last night. First and foremost, Rams go on the road and just get blown out by the San Francisco 49ers. Matthew Stafford, second straight game in which he's had 2 interceptions in the first half, really set his team back.
Not only 2 interceptions in the first half, 2 interceptions, doggone, in the first 2 offensive possessions. You know, it was one of those plays, he throws the one to Odell. I think Odell, Matt wanted a big play, was trying to make something happen. Odell stopped running because there was nothing there, and he throws the interception.
Good tackle, though.
Darn good tackle. This right here is off the tight end, Higbee, or off the tight end. It
wasn't his fault.
It wasn't Matt Stafford's fault on that. But, when you watch the Rams, and I'm watching the Rams, and Odell had a very pedestrian 2 catches for 12 yards. So if you were in on that bet, you definitely, if you took the over, you lost that because the over was 40 on how many yards he was going to have. But when you watch the Rams, what am I looking for? It seems like they're on defense missing Ndamukong Suh. And I know Ndamukong Suh has been gone for 2 years. But on defense, they just seem to be missing Ndamukong Suh. They seem to miss that interior presence. Like Aaron Donald's on the outside more times than not. But on the inside, that running presence, that Ndamukong Suh, shutting that middle down. They don't shut the middle down. They make a lot of plays, but they don't shut the middle down. And that's what you see, and that's what you miss with Ndamukong Suh. Also, on the offensive side of things, you think that, oh, man, you know what? You brought in Odell Beckham. Robert Woods gets hurt. It's like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. Odell's just as good, if not better, than Robert Woods to be able to fit. But what happens is, Matt Stafford's gotten used to the way things run with Robert Woods, with Cooper Kupp. It's just like Peyton. When Peyton had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, he knew exactly where those guys were going to be. You knew Reggie's going to be on the left. You know Marvin's always going to be on the right. You know Marvin's going to run a certain amount of routes. You know Reggie's going to run a certain type of routes. Well, when you try to insert Odell into what Robert Woods has done all offseason, all training camp, all minicamp, all OTAs, and all 10 games of the season so far, you can't do it right away. And you saw that. You saw that he was missing Robert Woods. You saw he was missing that dependability. You saw he was dropping back. And it's not exactly where he thought it was going to be. So it's going to take some time. But I think the Rams will be okay, but it will take some time.
They get a week off. They get the bye week. And then,
right on time.
We'll see how it goes. It is perfect time.
Yeah. You guys want to talk about the Mannings now?
Hey, it was pretty good.
Phil Mickelson.
You guys like the Mannings.
I love the
Mannings. I still watch the play-by-play.
I watch
the Mannings on Twitter.
Yeah, there's something about the Mannings that's intriguing to me. They basically had to kick Al Michaels off last night because Al Michaels wanted to stay and talk, and he wanted to be part of the Phil Mickelson conversation.
Yeah, he did.
But they said, well, Peyton's like, well, Al, we got to let you go now. And,
Al does a game with a mirror, by the way. He watches himself in a mirror.
Al didn't want to go anywhere last night.
Remember he said, I'm here to overtime. He said, I'm here to overtime. My favorite about watching the Mannings, though, my favorite is watching Eli. Yeah. Eli just looks lost. Like Eli's having a different level of fun. I hope nobody's car is getting towed right now. But Eli looks like he's having a different level of fun. They came back from the commercial and he's playing golf. I mean, he's playing on his golf. He's playing golf on his golf simulator. And then you come back and it's an empty chair. And then he sprints back to the chair and they're looking at him and he's just, what I miss. I love him. He's so goofy.
And Phil Mickelson last night addressed the curse with the Mannings. Yeah. We have that audio. Here he is.
Let's keep our mics up, though. Let's keep talking.
Going around, people are talking about this thing called the Manning curse.
Oh, yeah.
Where apparently, if you come on this show, if you're an active football player, the next week off. You lose the game. And can you kind of just do us a favor and tell people that there's no such thing as a curse? That it's not a real thing?
Here comes Phil.
No, I believe that it is a thing, and that's why I'm not playing next week. I didn't know if it would carry over to golf or not.
Is that great?
Yep.
I think it's real. And
Kelsey, Wilson, Gronk, Stafford, Brady, Allen, all guys lost their next week.
Oh, and actually, it even extends further. I know I'm grabbing at straws right now. Draymond Green was on the show yesterday. So they announced that Draymond was going to be on the show, I want to say a week ago. Mm-hmm. Well, guess who just lost their first game yesterday? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? The Warriors lost their 10-0 streak. They're 10-0
Sunday night.
Oh, my God.
Sunday night, they broke their skid, but he knew that he was going to be on the Mannings for a week.
That counts.
So that counts.
I think that does count. Or do they lose tonight, the Warriors?
Or does Al Michaels lose his voice?
Speaking of games tonight, man, we'll get to that, though. The Warriors play KD tonight.
Oh, you know they're losing.
For the first time since he left.
You know they're losing because Draymond was on last night. Here's Draymond Green. Giving a little sting towards Peyton Manning.
How would you talk smack to Peyton?
I tell Peyton he got
absolutely. Here's Draymond Green.
As great as you're supposed to be.
We're talking so we don't get pulled down. What do you think?
You hear what he said?
Colts cut him.
Appreciate it.
Colts Cubs.
I thought nobody could sting me more than Mickelson in the second quarter, but Draymond has done that here in the third quarter.
That's right.
I love it. I love this show.
And again, sorry, if you're listening on radio, let me just explain something to you. If you're listening on radio and you're like, will you guys shut up so we can hear what they're saying? Because of YouTube rules, we almost have to talk over what they're saying so we don't get pulled off of YouTube. I just wanted to make that clarification. We're not trying to be funny or rude. We're just continuing to try to not get pulled down from YouTube.
By the way, he talked about Eli's swing. Phil Mickelson did. He said it's a cute swing. It's a cute swing. So basically, that was his little abuse over to Eli.
Phil is a guy, and I've heard this, and I'm sure everybody has heard this. You've heard things about Phil. Phil's not such a pleasant guy. Not such a pleasant guy to be around.
Hey, he gave it trouble. Remember he was here in Detroit over the summer?
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault. What they did to him was messed up. Like, it was like you have an individual come out to do a golf outing, you spend a lot of money to get the top talent here, and then you have some douchebag reporter, bring up an article from 20 years ago that had nothing to do with the tournament. So that wasn't Phil's fault. But you can just listen to Phil in that broadcast last night and just tell, this guy's full of himself.
He's a little salty there. Hey, guys, give me a quick thought. I'm going to go through some games here. Give me a quick thought.
Let's put those scores up,
as we go, okay? Buffalo. Hey, Fish, can I get a little something more, like something different music? This is killing me. This makes me want to sleep, this one here. I don't need anything.
Wait, Casey Kasem now?
Yeah. Maz, how many times can you listen to 70s on 70?
All the time.
Okay?
All the time.
Well, what do you guys think of this music?
No.
I'm like, give me something else, Fish. No. Anything a little bit more upbeat?
Don't we have any new music?
Don't we have anything new?
Man.
These are all the ones I'm going through.
These are all the ones that you chose.
Like you should be
something. You should be like, this is hot.
I wish we could
here.
play NFL music.
Yeah,
you should be able to put something on and know that it's the one.
Yeah.
That's good.
This is like a freestyle
there's
beat.
40 of them.
We need DJ Tom.
Yeah, we need
Where
DJ Tom in here, man.
We need art.
All right, guys. That's fine. Very
Let's go.
good.
Let's
good
talk
job.
scores.
All right,
here.
let's do it. Bills 45-17 winners over the Jets. My good. Actually, we should save this one because we got a Robert Saleh topic that I was going to do next as well. Let's skip that one because I want to address that later. Cowboys completely destroy the Atlanta Falcons 43-3 winners. Dak 3 touchdowns.
Seems like Dak got back on track. He had 3 touchdowns. He had 298. CeeDee Lamb had 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. The defense played well again. Trayvon Diggs had another interception, so he's back on track. The only thing that bothers me is they did not run the ball particularly well. Falcons don't have a particularly good defense, especially against the run. I think they're ranked 26th in the league. So they didn't run as well as I thought they should, but they got back on track. We will see if they're really back on track when they play their next game.
Titans beat the Saints 23-21. Titans 2-0 without Derrick Henry.
Saints missed 2 extra points on this game, and then the 2-point conversion. They had a penalty. They went offside, so they had like an 8-yard, 7-yard play and did not get the tie. But they have been through 4 kickers this year in New Orleans.
TJ Tom said he's going to come solve our music problem. Appreciate that, Tom. Come help us out. But also with the Saints, they did with the kicking issues. Simeon actually played a better game than he did last week, so he looks like somebody that can.
He's a game manager.
Just can get the job done. But on that defensive side of the ball for the Tennessee Titans, that's why they are so good. That's why they are where they are. Man, Jeffrey Simmons is a man-child. And Harold Landry, what they're doing, I think Simmons' interior line had 2 sacks yesterday. He had a sack and a half the week before that. He was outstanding in that Bills game against Josh Allen, against the run, against the pass, and then Harold Landry also adding another sack. I want to say both of them are floating around 9-10 sacks. They're amazing on defense. Both should be all pro.
6 in a row for Tennessee.
How about the New England Patriots 45-7 winners over the Cleveland Browns? Mac Jones 3 touchdowns. Number 1, he looks like the best quarterback of the rookie class so far,
like
and he was the 5th quarterback taken. Also, the New England Patriots. Braylon, you were talking about this earlier. Yeah. They have got to be in the conversation for a dark horse Super Bowl caliber AFC team.
It's not going to take Belichick long. You saw the success that they didn't have last year. You saw they stubbed their toe. You saw that they were all over the place. They were in disarray. You knew that was not going to be a Bill Belichick team for long. And he was getting it back. He got some players off injury. Guys are playing well in that defense. They're playing the type of defense that we recognize, scheming against guys well again. And then on offense, you got guys healthy. The tight ends are playing extremely well. The tight ends that we forgot about. We forgot about those first-round draft picks that he had and the guys that he paid. Now they're playing well. Mac Jones is putting the ball where it needs to be. You're getting a lot of high-quality talent out of him. And let's go on the other side of the ball for the opposition, the team. Baker Mayfield, man, he's just not the guy. And I keep saying this.
He's hurt, man. He's hurt.
Okay, let me take a step back. Why is it when there's any other quarterback, why is there so many excuses?
I'm not defending him.
But why is there it's not just you. Why is there so many excuses for Baker? When Baker plays well, it's, he's tough, he's playing well, I
have an answer.
He's doing this. But when Baker doesn't play well, now he's hurt. Now he has a fracture here. Now he has a torn labrum here. Now it's this. He never gets the blame, but he gets all the credit. They don't even give the credit to the people that deserve it, which are the running backs for that team, which are Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, or DeErnest.
I have an answer for you.
Go ahead.
It's a quarterback league, number one. And number two.
But all the other quarterbacks in the league get blamed.
But
Dak gets blamed. Matt Stafford gets blamed. Jared Goff gets blamed. The insert quarterback
deservedly
here. Insert quarterback here gets blamed. Sam Darnold blamed.
Here's a different way to look at it. Just throwing it out there. When's the last time the Cleveland Browns won a playoff game?
Last year.
Exactly. Before that.
2002.
So it was almost 20 years since the Cleveland Browns won a playoff game.
But it wasn't Baker Mayfield.
But it's a quarterback league, so the quarterback's going to get the credit for it. We talk about Matthew Stafford. I'm trying to make a comparison. The quarterback's always going to get credit.
Matt Ryan gets a lot of the fault, the blame. Yeah. Everyone gets blamed. Even the high-end quarterbacks get blamed. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I've seen Russell Wilson get blamed.
I'm trying to think about if
Baker Mayfield gets no blame.
If Matthew Stafford,
you don't listen to Colin Cowherd very often.
But he's never liked him, so I don't count that one. It's you got to throw the high and the low out, and you take everybody in the middle.
If Matthew Stafford won a playoff game here in Detroit, you'd have a ticker tape parade for him almost, and everything that he's ever done that was bad would probably go out the window. I'm just trying to
listen. The Browns gave up 45 points. Myles Garrett blamed the coaching staff. He said they did not compete. Our coaches did not change.
Is that
any
what he
schemes.
said?
Yes.
Wow.
He said our coaching staff did not get it right this time. I'm paraphrasing it. That's what Myles Garrett came out and said.
Wow.
We did not adjust.
Good
that
for
was what
him.
He said.
Seriously, good for him.
And on the other side for the Patriots, Matthew Judon is a horse. I mean, you trade for him from the Baltimore Ravens. That's a Bill Belichick
Once
guy.
again, here we are making excuses for Baker. I'm simply talking about why do we make excuses for Baker?
You hate Baker Mayfield.
No, I don't hate Baker. I don't like when people make excuses for an individual.
I'm not making excuses for him.
You blame everybody else.
I'm telling you the truth. The guy's got a torn labrum and a freaking dislocated shoulder. Should he be in? No. Maybe the backup should be in.
You know what, Maz? You make excuses for who you want to make excuses for. You like who you like, and you don't like who you don't like.
Baker.
Stop making excuses for him. Where was this at 3 weeks ago when he was balling out? Oh, nothing came up about the injury 3 weeks ago, but he had one. Nothing came up then. Now all of a sudden, he's injured. It's like when he has a good game a week ago, when it was the No Odell show a week ago, everything was great. Meanwhile, he had the same injuries, but nobody made excuse then. People didn't say, he had this amazing game and by the way, he's hurt. No one said that. But now all of a sudden he has a bad game. But he's hurt. He's hurt. He doesn't have the running game.
I hate Baker Mayfield.
I don't like him. I never liked him.
It's not that I hate Baker Mayfield.
I hate him.
I hate people make excuses for him.
Right.
I've never seen anyone make him take blame.
Screw Baker Mayfield. He sucks.
I just never seen anyone make Baker take blame. That's what bothers me. I don't hate him
talking about the Vikings.
Screw the Vikings too. They suck too. I do love, though, however, how Deion Sanders calls Mike Zimmer. What's that relationship?
We got that in our videos of the day.
We do have that? I love that. I don't know. There's a connection about that. I love that. Guys, I want to address Rex Ryan blasting Dearborn's own Robert Saleh this week on ESPN. You'll hear what he had to say about that coming up next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line. Damn, we didn't even...
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You want a car? Go buy one from them. I'll tell you this much. Don't worry about that chip shortage. They got you covered at Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Also, any make, any model on their pre-owned lot. Pre-owned cars are hotter than ever right now. They've got you covered over there. And maybe you can get through the next couple of months. You're working from home and you don't need that extra car in the family. Les Stanford is your authorized lease return center. And it doesn't matter whether you own the car, whether you lease the car, go ahead and sell it back to them. Check them out, lesstanford.com. Walk out with thousands. 313-565-6000. 313-565-6000. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Find new roads. Gang, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We've got Fish in the booth. We've got Alex Mayer as well. You know, Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, one of the best in the league at that job over a number of years, really getting San Francisco to a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and he was a key member of that, leading the defense as a defensive coordinator. Interviewed for head coaching jobs all over the NFL last year. Many people thought that he'd be kind of a shoo-in here in Detroit because he is from the Dearborn area, but he did get the job in New York. The Jets have been really bad defensively. They gave up 45 points to the Buffalo Bills this week. Here's what Rex Ryan, former New York Jets coach, had to say about the current Jets coach on ESPN earlier this week.
This is a horrendous defense. You know, now they're going to use, well, we never had our safety. So what? Everybody has a million injuries, let alone a above-average safety you're missing. I remember playing without 5 corners. It never looked like this. I think we were 5th in the league that year in defense. This guy's supposed to be a defensive guru. I heard everything, and I take it personal on this one. Everything I heard about was, well, this guy's a lot like myself, but without the bad part. Yeah, well, some of the bad part you need, because this team doesn't play with any damn heart. I mean, that's the thing that's disappointing to me. And don't ever compare this guy to me, this Robert Saleh to me, because statistically, one time they were like a top defense. All right? Here's one thing they're going to be familiar with. 4 out of 5 years, the 49ers were dead last in their division. So he's going to be dead last again. So he's used to that. So to me, I'm a little pissed off about it when I hear that this guy, you know, his background's a lot like yours. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Wow, and that was Rex Ryan. That was actually on ESPN New York. I do want to make mention that in the last couple of weeks for the New York Jets, the Jets defense has allowed 45 points, 45 points, 31 points, 54 points, 27 points, 24 points, 26 points. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think what happened, if you listen to that, Rex was very spot on. Rex was very, legitly factual. Like, if you listen to the fact base of the conversation of his rhetoric, he said, if you listen to what I did, if you look at what Rex did when he was with the Baltimore Ravens, they never finished past 5th in the league in defense, in total defense. They always were at the top of the AFC North. They always were there. When he got over to the New York Jets, same thing followed, success on defense. Actually went to 2 AFC championships. I myself played on both of those teams. He's saying, you compare this guy to me, but for his 5 years in San Fran, they were last in the league. He said, you see what the defense is doing now? They don't look like they want to play it. Yes, you know what? And I'm not giving them excuses to look at the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are undermanned and understaffed too, but they somehow fight every week. They somehow get to the quarterback. They somehow get a pick. They somehow stay in games. So I agree with what Rex is saying to Robert Saleh. And everybody gets mad. Tell Rex to eat a cheeseburger or go do that or blah, blah, blah. Like, he's giving you facts. You guys came to him and said he reminds you of Rex. Rex is simply saying, no the hell he doesn't. Right. And he's presenting facts to show you, no the hell he doesn't.
Jets won 2 games this year, so they've done something right. And they've done it with a backup quarterback. They had a rookie quarterback go down. As far as Robert Saleh's response, we could put his tweet up as well and read that. This is what Robert Saleh had to say back to Rex Ryan.
Saleh says he obviously doesn't know Rex, never met him, then adds, obviously if it's that personal for him, he knows where to find me. Surprised? Nah, I'm not surprised by him. He's always got something to say. That's
there was nothing wrong with that response. That response lets me know that, 1, I respect Rex Ryan. 2, it's not about Rex Ryan, it's about my team. 3, what Rex Ryan said was the truth. Like, when people say the truth sometimes, like, you don't have a comeback. Like, sometimes no comeback is just fine.
Sean Beligian is, the coined the phrase, facts are mean.
They are. they 100% are. It's not personal in the sense that I hate Robert Saleh. It's personal in the sense that someone compared him to Robert Saleh, because obviously they're both defensive coordinators to start off that end up becoming head coaches for the first time in New York with the Jets. And, Rex loves the Jets. Like, he takes it personally. Like, it was a lot of some strong years there. A lot of his heart is left with the New York Jets, the success that he had, the near success, some of the failures that he had as well that we had. So, like, it's personal to him when somebody compares him to right now. You got to look at the facts. He's like, yeah, but he says that about everybody. Like, when you rock Rex, like, he's just, he's Buddy Ryan's son. Like, when he loves the game and he talks his mind, he speaks his mind, but he speaks it from a pretty opinionated / factual point of view. I
love the ESPN morning show with Greeny. Get up. He's on it all the time. Yeah. And when the Jets lost to New England put 50 up on him.
Yeah, 54
it was embarrassing.
Points. It was 54-13.
Yeah, and he went off on Saleh then as well. So this is back at him. New York radio gets him on. Hey, you talked about him back when New England threw 50 up on him. What do you think about him now? So he's just reiterating what he's been saying all year long. He doesn't think the Jets are playing with any heart.
Got to be disappointed with the way they are playing, though, especially defensively. And he was the beneficiary in San Francisco of having, like, the number 2 player in the draft one year and the number 3 player in the draft another year, both defensively. And you get those guys in, and ultimately you look real good when you get 2 top 3 picks to go on your defense. You don't get that every year.
Yeah, true. And one of them didn't pan out. Solomon didn't end up panning out for them. Solomon's now with the Raiders, but Bosa.
He was very good, though, for a year or 2.
One. Solomon, he was that last year, and then he left and went to the Raiders. But, it's an interesting situation. I want to see how it plays out a little bit more. Yeah, I want to see how it plays out a little bit more, because I see those 2 guys talking. I see those guys having a conversation or being on ESPN together and talking. But it'd be interesting to see what happens from there.
Speaking of playing out, I would love to see how this AFC plays out, because we mentioned New England earlier. The Bills are according to last week anyway, putting up 45, look dominant. And then there's the Kansas City Chiefs lurking. Kansas City looked like they got a lot of mojo back on Monday Night Football. We'll get your take on that when we come back. Armani and Edwards, is it Kansas City time?
I told you it was going to be Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, guys, I want to let you know about Guardian Alarm. The black and gold, boy, do they get it. They've been your local security experts for over 90 freaking years. Guardian Alarm. And why? Because they get the job done. They are the championship defender to your home. State-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe. 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm convenient features that let you check in on your home. Control your lights, temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide. Even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you got to do is call this simple number. 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Stay out! Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Stick that black and yellow sign on your lawn. That'll keep people out. Stay out.
It's like Steelers defense, man.
Right. Over the weekend, it was Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs looked like the Kansas City Chiefs that have made it to 2 straight Super Bowls. They destroy the Las Vegas Raiders 41-14. Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns in the game. We were waiting for that all season long. Were we not, Braylon Edwards?
Yeah, Matt said the Raiders were going to win, by the way.
I thought they were too, actually.
I'm putting it out there. You guys
said it's okay.
Raiders.
Everyone has a bad game.
I'm just joking. Stop getting so uptight. What the hell is going on today?
You're the one uptight. Baker Mayfield.
I'm not mad about Baker Mayfield. At the end of the day, I just
Can we stop talking about Baker Mayfield?
I just simply said I hate that people always make excuses for him. Like, he's trash. It's time to move on. Like, he's not good.
All right, talk about the Chiefs.
He's done nothing. They're not as trash as Baker Mayfield is. They've done better. And Patrick Mahomes has figured out. I said, listen, their defense is awful. Their defense has been abysmal. Their defense is still bad. But at the end of the day, they have a guy that they paid $500 million to for a reason, because that guy is special, and he's gonna figure it out. He's a young guy, and this is unusually long season. I said, people were talking stuff. I'm like, they've won 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. They've won 3 in a row. I'm like, they're still hanging out in games. If you look at them statistically, like offensively, statistically wise, and statistical categories, they're still right there. He's 2nd in passing, 2nd in touchdowns. They're 5th in total offense. They're 3rd in points scored. Their defense is just so bad. Mm-hmm. Their defense is just so bad, and they are making bad plays. Well, against the Raiders, you're starting to see that consistency. They took their time. They're even celebrating after the game. You saw Kelsey looks to be back to where he was. Kelsey had some fun. He danced during the game. He had 2 touchdowns. He had over 100 yards receiving. So it looked fun again for the Kansas City Chiefs. It looked fun.
I'm so glad you said that, actually, because it did look like they
Like a
had
job.
fun once again.
Looked like a job.
Kelsey looked like he was having fun. Mahomes looked like he was
Tyreek
having
had 2
fun.
touchdowns.
Hill was having fun. Everybody's slapping high fives. And
Darrell Williams.
I guess that's what you do when you're winning. But from the jump, they were on it. And again, this is the team that nobody in the AFC wants to see. No. Because if you look at this, Tennessee, of course, they're playing good football. They do not have Derrick Henry.
Tennessee should have just lost to the Saints, like Matt said. Right. If you count the kicking game, if we can shore up the kicking game, they lose to the Saints.
I mean, Buffalo lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah,
so it's not like it happens, but they're not invincible.
Correct.
I mean, Baltimore has not won a playoff game with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So you go up and down. Lions. You go up and down the line, and there's no dominant team in the AFC. This is the worst nightmare of every team in the AFC to see Kansas City playing football like this. And it, again, elevates, I think, our belief.
Right.
Not saying that New England is going to be in the Super Bowl, but they certainly will compete. They're going to make the playoffs this year. And, Bill Belichick defense against Patrick Mahomes offense. Now, again, I'm not discounting the Bills or the Titans. I'm just saying this is a 4-team race in the AFC, 4 teams.
What's going to be interesting, and I believe this is next Monday Night Football or maybe it's next Sunday Night Football, you'll get a chance to see if these 2 teams are for real. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. You'll see if they're back, Kansas City Chiefs. Next Sunday night, Kansas City. Is it Sunday night or is it Monday night?
I'm going to find out for you right now.
I think it's Sunday.
Oh, no, it's 4:25. I think it's 4:20.
Sunday, it's a 4:25 Fox game.
4:25.
This Sunday?
This Sunday,
nice.
Fox and the Cowboys and the Chiefs.
That'll be a Troy Aikman game.
So that's why I said this will be the week you'll get a chance to see if 1, the Dallas Cowboys are back, and 2, if the Chiefs are for real, if they figured it out. Because the Cowboys did play well. They got to win. You saw, Dak passing the ball again. You saw the defense rushing, getting to the quarterback. Saw interception by Diggs. Didn't run the ball particularly well, like I said. The Chiefs, They got some explosion plays. They still have no running game, but it doesn't matter. That's why I really wanted them to get Odell Beckham. I think that would have helped them. They really wouldn't needed a running game. But, man, it's going to be interesting watching these two teams go at it because you're going to see, are the Chiefs for real? They can come out of that game having beat the Cowboys and being 7-4 when 5 weeks ago people had marked them for dead.
You know who
I did.
Most everybody did.
Can I just quickly transition?
I discounted the Chiefs. I just didn't discount Patrick Mahomes.
In the NFC, and I hate to discount the Arizona Cardinals, and I certainly don't mean to do that. They have the best record, tied for the best record with the Green Bay Packers at 8-2 for the best record. But I think, Braylon, I'm coming around to you a little bit here about Dallas in the NFC. Tampa, right now, again, this is a long season. We're just talking here, okay? Tampa looks like they're struggling. Los Angeles, the Rams seem like they're struggling. You've got the Cowboys and the Packers there, neck and neck right now. Who would you say it has a better chance of coming out of the NFC today, Dallas or Green Bay? Makes you think a little bit. If nothing else, it makes you think to where this wasn't a question. I agree with you.
I'm still going Dallas. I really like Green Bay. One of Green Bay's strongest attributes that they had going for themselves on defense is Rashawn Gary was figuring out defense. Former Michigan D lineman, he was figuring out defense. He got hurt. And I don't know the extent of the injury, but it was bad.
He says I'll play.
He was crying. It was tough.
So, he says I'll play.
But they always put those braces that look like the Terminator arms. So I'm pretty sure they'll put something like that on him. You don't know how it will hinder him, how much it will affect his greatness and how he's been. But that was one thing I took. I was like, he was hurt. I'm like, they were playing good, so maybe I'll go with Dallas because of that. But they're right there. They're both right there. And then if you can go with the Cardinals, they did all that, and we talked about it without Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And having Colt McCoy in there without Kyler Murray. So I'm still taking the Cowboys. I just like the dynamic of everything.
Packers just pitched a shutout. I know Russell Wilson was rusty. They pitched a shutout. That's pretty good. That defense, it's all of a sudden becoming very good. And if Rashawn Gary's healthy, that only helps them more. Aaron Jones went down. He cried as well.
Yeah.
Thought he blew out his knee. Turns out it's an MCL sprain. Might cost him 2 weeks, but who do you have in reserve? A.J. Dillon. If Rodgers is standing on 2 legs, don't bet against the Packers.
If he's standing on 1, you remember we did with the calf strain.
Yep. Don't bet against Aaron Rodgers this year.
Nah.
Please don't do it.
No, but
unless it's to tell the truth.
Look, Green Bay shut out Seattle. But give Dallas a hell of a lot of credit. They held Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons offense to 3 points.
Yeah.
So that's nothing to sniff your nose at either. I mean, they can score some points now.
Who would you rather have, Matt LaFleur or Mike McCarthy? I know what Braylon would say.
I know anybody that has saneness in their body should say.
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur.
Of course.
It's not even close.
Yeah,
so if it comes down to that, man, I'll go with Matt LaFleur.
Would you say that
what a record he's got?
Kellen Moore is the offensive play caller, though.
Game.
So I think you got to give him a lot of credit. Interesting. This NFL season is really shaping up.
NFC is
it's great from
really
where it
good.
Started. Like when we first started off, like everybody was great. It looked like every quarterback was going to throw for 6,000. It looked like every team was going undefeated.
Yep.
Like we were just looking, like you were just counting on the list of teams in NFC. You're like undefeated. Oh yeah, he's going to MVP.
Yeah.
And even on the counter side with the AFC, it was similar. It was like, look at these teams. It was like, oh man, look at the Titans. Oh man, look at the Raiders. Oh, look at Justin Herbert and the Chargers. All the Bills are unbeatable. Oh, look at this. Now you're looking and it's shifting upside down. Like everybody looks beatable. It's turned into college football.
Yeah, and maybe that's something we could talk about tomorrow. I think this has been one of the most enjoyable NFL seasons and one of the most enjoyable college football seasons because of the parity. Yeah. There is nobody that you feel is unbeatable in either league, in either sport. Maybe that's something we can explore tomorrow.
And the crazy thing about it, there's still 7 regular season games left.
Yeah.
Just think about that. There's still 7. Like we legitimately play 11 weeks. Still 7 regular season games.
How about in college though? We only got 2. We only got 2
That's
left.
why I was saying NFL. Player.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Well, college technically is 4. You got 2
conference championship.
Play bowl game, playoff,
bowl
and
game,
then
I'm talking about before you get to the bowl season, though.
Oh, you
well,
got
3, okay.
You got 3 for sure.
Yeah.
And then,
interesting, just so fun.
And then the top 4, they have another one, so that's 4 games.
This is just so fun.
Football.
I know. What are we going to do with football?
No.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Thankfully, we don't have to.
Stay away February.
Thankfully, February's a few months off.
I tell you what, when that February comes, be prepared for me to V-mix in a lot.
I'm going on vacation.
That's our birthdays.
I'm V-mixing in.
I am going on a vacation
what's
in February.
the topics today? No, I'll be at the house.
Where are you going?
Going to Florida in February.
Oh, look at you. Snowbird action.
Yeah. Guys, bottom line videos of the day, including one where Deion Sanders repeatedly calling Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer kept sending him to voicemail, and then Deion kept calling.
Talking about coach for the Minnesota Vikings? Okay.
So we'll get to that next.
Press conference.
Yeah.
Did you see we'll talk about when he comes
Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What type of alcohol guy are you? Like, what's your brand?
I'm a gypsy vodka guy.
What does it do? You ruined the surprise.
Oh.
You ruined the lead up. I mean, what type? Are you tequila? Are you rum? Are you Cavassier? Are you cognac? Yeah, that's where I was going with a whiskey. I'm a vodka guy.
Yes, so am I.
You're a vodka. What type of vodka guy?
I like gypsy vodka.
There you go. Gypsy vodka. Gypsy is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Man, you just hear that? Infused with artesian spring water. Amazing.
Doesn't have artesian water in it.
Don't
drink anything.
Why would you?
Why would you?
How do you not?
How do you not?
There were so many places I wanted to go with that, but try a bottle today by Gypsy. Listen, it took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but they believe, twin brothers, Mike and Adam, they believe that they have found the smoothest tasting vodka on the market, and guess what? We here at Woodward Sports support them, and we think they're telling the truth. Ask by your neighbor, Gypsy Vodka.
It's a Michigan gluten-free vodka.
I'm telling you, man, it's healthy, it's good. Like, drink responsibly as always.
Yeah, how do you not want a gluten-free? Maz, your videos of the day today are on point.
They're
Where do you
off
want
the
to
hook.
start? Where do you want to? We got to start with the.
We teased Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, let's do
so
that.
this is yesterday. The Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, the playoff-bound Minnesota Vikings. He's on his press conference, and he gets interrupted a few times. Check this out.
Figure out ways to help him in some of these areas. Sorry, Deion Sanders.
For time for 2 more, Eric and whoever else.
Nope, he wasn't taking no for an answer.
Should we answer while we're on the call?
Yes.
Hey, Wood reporter was telling them not to pick it for Deion.
Deion.
Mike Zimmer has headphones on, by the way.
Hey,
if you're
I'm
listening
on a
on
call
radio.
right now. I'll call you back.
He's talking to a phone, although he has
Actually,
headphones
I'm
on.
on a Zoom meeting with the media. You want to say hi?
Let me see you.
Hung up.
Hung up. He ain't
Sorry.
done yet, though.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mike. Not done yet.
About trying to string some wins
You don't turn Deion down.
No, you don't turn Deion down. That's 3 calls from Deion Sanders.
Prime time.
Can you hear me?
Sounds like Deion's sick, too.
Say what?
What's going on? My service is bad in my house.
How are you feeling? I'm on
Bad
a
service.
interview right now with the media. You're on speaker. You want to say hi?
Everybody, there's a big win my man had yesterday, and I picked him. I know he was going to be dominant yesterday. You ain't got no young coach beat you. I know better than that, man.
How are you feeling?
Proud of you. I'm making it, man. I'm getting better and better every day.
All right. I miss you. I'll call you later. Bye-bye.
I love that.
I miss you, he says.
Yeah. So wondering about the connection.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer was a Dallas Cowboys defensive coach under Barry Switzer in 1994.
How about that?
Yeah,
and Deion's still cool with him.
It's good, man. It's great the relationships that these players build with coaches. Because a lot of times, guys come out. Coaches are older. Coaches are. You're looking to find your connection in the NFL. You're looking at the next level. You're looking for guys to help you along, and guys take a shine to you, take a liking to you, help you along the process, and you stay talking because it goes from you becoming a player to you becoming a father or a parent, and them already being father and parent. Then it turns into you getting into coaching, and you got to pick their brains. Hey, coach, man, I got so. Yeah.
Who do you stay in touch with, man?
Nobody.
Me.
Your dad.
That's who.
Nah, I stay in touch with Lloyd and Coach Campbell.
There you go.
Can we make a pivot here in the bottom line videos of the day? Can we play as a video of the day what happened on Big D Energy earlier today?
Absolutely.
I want to make sure I get that video in. They were talking, Joik Bell and Darren McCarty, former Lion, former Red Wing.
Battle with the Detroit franchise.
They were going at it today on the Taylor Decker situation. Alex, do we have that video? Here it is earlier this morning on Woodward Sports.
Plug your ears.
He won his first year now. Come in, went to the playoffs.
What? He went. Well, that's not winning, Joik.
Huh?
He went to the playoffs. He didn't win a playoff game. He hasn't won a championship. I'm talking championship.
You didn't say championship. You said win.
I'm talking winning championships.
I will say win championship.
I'm part of the locker room that won 4
You gotta say
locker
win
room
championships. Then you gotta.
I'm just saying,
you
got somebody that's worried about winning games instead of worried about some media guy being mad at you. It's a freaking joke. And until that attitude changes, what, you made the playoffs? Congratulations. I made the playoffs every year of my career.
That's
what does
I'm
that
saying.
matter? All that matters is the cups. I'm just saying, it's the attitude. It's such BS to what's important.
This is what's in his head.
So
hold on, let me tell you what's in his head.
It shows you how mentally soft it is in that locker room. Because that's a leader, and he's showing you. If Taylor Decker's your leader, and he's showing you what bothers him, outside noise, right? He should come back and say, "Yeah, I heard the noise. Don't matter. It's about us."
He did. He came back and he played well. What else can he do?
He played well, and then he shot his mouth off. He needs to play and shut it up if he wants it to go away.
What?
If he wants it not to go away, and he wants the media, which if I'm sitting here like this, I'm giving you my perspective.
Listen, he can say what he wants to say
from champions. Okay, when I say winning, I mean championship. Not a playoff game, not making the Joik. That is.
Hold on. I'm just saying, what can he do? What can he do? What can he do?
Shut up and play.
He don't gotta
his
shut up and play.
Spoke for himself.
His play
he can
say what he want to say. He is a grown man. He is a grown man. He can say what he say, and he bagged it up. He bagged it up. He went out there.
Did he say that before or after? Hello, anybody?
He said after the game.
After the game.
Darren freaking McCarty on fire today. Look at that.
He said exactly what we said. He said, "Look, don't worry about the outside noise. Go out there and play ball." And the other thing I like that he says, winning means one thing. And this is universal. This is through NHL, MLB, NBA, and NFL.
And MHSAA, too.
Try. Oh, my God. Would you get out of here, number 35?
Yeah, hey. You know it.
What I was going to say is winning means winning. When you say winning, there's no backup make words like, oh, winning. Now, what type of winning? Are we
Division
talking about winning games? Are we talking about winning a conference? Are we talking about... No, winning means it means winning the show. It means winning it all. That's what winning means. I love it.
That's absolutely right. Maz, you got time for one quick one.
All right. I've got one. How about this? We go back on this day in sports 15 years ago.
Okay.
Darrelle Revis playing for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Revis Island. Guess who punched this ball to him?
For the Pittsburgh Panthers.
The Pittsburgh Panthers. He played for the Pittsburgh Panthers. He was a college kid at the time.
This play. Okay, go. I'll wait.
Pat McAfee is the punter here. Check out Revis Island on the return.
And it goes inside to 30, picked up on the bounce there by Revis. He's given ground. He gets a block, turns the corner at the 20. He's at the 25, and he's knocked out of bounds. Now he's coming up the sideline. Here he comes to the 50, and he's going down the field. He's got inside the 25, still on his feet inside the 20.
Oh, my God.
And he's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Against West Virginia.
So that play was up for an ESPY. That's how I remember that play. That play was up for ESPY.
How about that?
Football players.
Do they still do the ESPYs?
Yeah,
they do secretly.
Yeah, they do. They don't tell anybody. They give out all the awards who they want to give them out to.
Exactly. All right, Bray, get us out of here, guys. Fun day today.
Man, we had
a little bit of everything.
This was fun, man. Me and Maz got a chance to go each other like we always do.
I love it when you guys go at each other, actually.
Dad came in here. Dad gave his spill. Dad was on point as always.
Thanks for my gas station soda.
I got you, man. It had artisanal spring water in it, too.
Unbelievable.
But we're enjoying it. We're here at Woodward Sports, building something. Great product. You love it?
I love it.
You love it, Fish? Alex?
Fish ain't paying attention
man, you guys,
anymore.
what the heck are these
I'm
guys
paying
doing?
attention.
Okay, good.
What the heck are you guys
He's looking at his rugby
I put a thumbs
scores.
up. No, I'm actually sending Alex Mayer the timestamps from today's show.
Look at you,
being
Fish.
productive.
Way to go, baby.
Look at this guy.
Giving you a hard time today. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time
That's
today,
mostly what I'm
Fish.
doing, by the way. Not that you guys care, but I'm doing timestamps, live video reads, and I have to compute them in a quick amount of time now.
Fish. We love you. We're just giving you a hard time today.
Yeah,
we love you.
You're right, Fish. I don't care.
I love you.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't.
You're not going to get any sympathy out of me.
That's
very
fine.
good. Love you
I'm
too,
joking.
buddy.
Love you guys, man. Excited. We'll see what happens with Steph Curry tonight going against his former teammate, MVP versus MVP, and that is KD.
College football playoff rankings tonight, too.
And those college football players. It's going to be lackluster, man. But, hey, look forward to tomorrow. We're going to come here and have a good time. I am Edwards. He is Armani, and this is Woodward Sports Network, and this is The Bottom Line.
Season. Pistons turn it over. Look at that wall that Garza. Oh, he makes it very difficult for Barnes to get out from behind him. Look at Garza. He just locked Barnes underneath the basket, and it's just Cade and the basket.
Nice job by Luka Garza.